for the next few minutes, I'm gonna set aside my MC duties for a bit to speak on my experience with Immigrants Rising, or as many of us first knew it as, Educators for Fair Consideration. So Kathy, I don't know quite where you are. I see you back there. Love you, but what does fair consideration mean? Right? When I first heard of the org, like E4FC, I was confused. Like, what does E4FC even do? But back in 2016, when I first learned about the org, that feeling of confusion sort of fit the theme of my own life because I was pretty confused. I was just a couple of years into starting my consulting firm, GrantAnswers. I secured a contract from the largest public education system in the country. And at the same time, my immigration story was on everything from the front page of the Wall Street Journal to an amicus brief in the Supreme Court to MTV. I was confused because I could not have imagined any of this. Like, am I the right person for all of this attention? Am I deserving of some of this high-profile celebration? And it's that word celebration that I really want to center in this 15th year of Immigrants Rising. So, let me take y'all back to 2017, about 15 miles from this theater. Some of us in this room were in a YMCA in Point Bonito. So if you haven't been, it's historic military grounds where you can literally walk through a mountain to get to a lighthouse and a full view of the Pacific Ocean. That's where the inaugural festival of Undocumented Innovation took place. At the time, I was chosen to be an entrepreneurship fellow, and as part of my role for that weekend, I chose 5 immigrant entrepreneurs in my network to come along. Among the chosen was a recent graduate named Orlando, who I had met in New York City at a nonprofit where I was a mentor and he was a mentee. So on that second day of the Festival of Undocumented Innovation, there was a different vibe. That afternoon, it was a dry breeze, piercing sunlight, and it gave way to what I think is the most beautiful part of Point Bonito. It's a basketball court that overlooks the Pacific Ocean. For the next 2 hours, Orlando and I played basketball for the first time. So I want you to imagine amazing skill of your favorite basketball players, your basketball teams, and then picture that we had very little of that. So it was tons of missed shots, air balls, turnovers, New York City-style trash talking. But through all those 2 hours, what we did have plenty of was unbridled, uncontrollable laughter. Rarely have I experienced that much joy. I've never celebrated mistakes and missed shots that much. Because see, those 2 hours weren't about, not having a safety net in life. It wasn't about working hard all the time. It wasn't about taking education so seriously all the time. It was about a bigger vision of freedom and celebration as undocumented immigrants, with undocumented immigrants, and for undocumented immigrants. Because in many immigrant spaces, our stories are too centered on struggle and suffering instead of success. To me, undocumented isn't an identity. It's simply context that makes our accomplishments and our progress worth even more. Freedom and celebration are what I saw in Rocio and me, leading activity groups as participants shared their educational journeys and found opportunities using the new scholarship list. Freedom and celebration are what the Seed Grant can help provide immigrant entrepreneurs like the ones you should be supporting in this space today. Freedom and celebration is me linking up in LA with Danae so that we can support Michelle Obama's When We All Vote initiative and hang out with our favorite celebrities. It's Ileana coming to my city, coming to New York City, eating 3,000 calories worth of ceviche tostones, drinking bottles of wine, And yet, we left feeling so much lighter emotionally and mentally as we embrace goodbye. Freedom and celebration are what I try to see in the reflection of my 27th floor window of my luxury building, because that's literally one floor for each of the 27 years I lived with my family in dirty basements and attics. Freedom and celebration are what I hope you take away today, and I don't think you have to look very far. Much of the freedom and celebration we seek and we deserve is within us, and it's within this room today. So you'll find some of that during the dance party, right? You'll get that sense of freedom and celebration from the inspirational speakers to come, and in your networking through the evening. And so I want all of you to ask yourselves, what brings out your most free and your most celebratory self? You can answer it in terms of like the conditions that allow you to be your happiest self. Like for me, it's like finding that holy grail of a decent home, a stable career, decent health, and a loving partner all at the same time. But you can also answer that question in terms of your routines and your hobbies. Maybe it's travel. Maybe it's the gym session. Maybe it's going to that fancy restaurant. Maybe like me, it's that game of basketball. Or also like me, maybe it's going to concerts all across the country. Whatever it is, do it, and do it in celebration. So as I close, I'll let you in on a little secret. Later this year, I hope to finish a memoir that ties in my immigrant story with my lifelong and life-saving hobby of concert going. And as I think about my immigrant journey, moments like that weekend at Point Bonita, the work that I've contributed to at Immigrants Rising, I can't help but make the connection that the next big concert tour that I'm going to is named Mañana, Será, Bonito. It sounds like there's some Karol G fans out there. You see, just like Kathy and Immigrants Rising, we're all moving towards a tomorrow. And as I reflect on my life, as I empty my heart and mind out in written form, give myself more forgiveness and grace, I'm now convinced more than ever that it's only when we center our todays, our sense of purpose, and our relationships in freedom and celebration that tomorrow will be beautiful. Que mañana será bonito. Thank you. Now, let's keep this celebration going. I'll go back to you, Stephanie.